Imagine walking out to your garden next spring, digging into the soil, and planting seeds that cost you absolutely nothing. Seeds you saved from this year's harvest. You'll know exactly where they came from, how they were grown, and that they are perfect for your climate. Welcome back to Golden Hours Garden, where we make growing food simple, fun, and rewarding. If you're ready to grow smarter, save money, and make your garden more resilient, hit the like button, subscribe, and let's get started. Seed saving matters because it keeps you from buying the same seeds over and over again. It preserves varieties you love, and it gives you more control over your food supply. The seeds you save this fall will grow into stronger, better adapted plants next year, which means healthier harvests for you and your family. Idea number 1. Choosing the right plants for seed saving. The very first step in successful seed saving is knowing which plants to choose. Start with open-pollinated or heirloom varieties because these produce seeds that grow true to type, meaning they'll give you the same variety next year. Hybrid plants, on the other hand, often produce unpredictable results and can disappoint you when they don't resemble the original crop. Focus on selecting the healthiest, most productive plants in your garden as your seed sources. Strong plants pass on strong genetics, which means your future harvests will be just as resilient or even better than this year's. By choosing wisely now, you're setting up next year's garden for success. Idea number 2. Timing your harvest. When it comes to saving seeds, timing is everything. Seeds need to be completely mature before you collect them, or they won't store well and may not sprout next season. Watch your plants closely. Mature seeds often change color, turn hard, or dry out on the plant. For peas and beans, wait until the pods rattle when you shake them. For flowers and herbs, look for dry brown seed heads. If you're saving seeds from vegetables, be patient. Sometimes you need to leave them on the plant longer than you would if you were harvesting for eating. For example, let cucumbers and peppers get fully ripe, even overripe, before collecting seeds. The more time the seeds have to mature, the better their germination rate will be next year. Idea number 3. Collecting seeds from dry crops. Some of the easiest seeds to save come from what we call dry seed crops, plants whose seeds naturally dry on the plant before harvest. These include beans, peas, lettuce, dill, coriander, basil, and many flowers. The process is simple, but the key is knowing when to harvest and how to handle them so they keep their strength for next year. Start by letting the seeds fully ripen right on the plant. For beans and peas, wait until the pods turn brown and brittle. When you shake them, you should hear the seeds rattling inside. For lettuce and herbs, watch for the flower heads to dry out and start producing fluffy seed heads. Once the seeds are ready, snip off the pods or seed heads on a dry day, ideally late in the morning after the dew has evaporated. Place them in a paper bag or an open container, never plastic, so they can continue to dry with good airflow. Hang the bag in a warm, well-ventilated space, like a shed or a kitchen corner, out of direct sunlight. When they are completely dry, break open the pods or gently rub the flower heads between your fingers to release the seeds. You'll often find a mix of seeds and bits of plant material. Take a few minutes to separate them. The cleaner they are, the better they will store. Saving dry seed crops is one of the most satisfying parts of seed saving, because it feels so effortless. You can often collect hundreds of seeds from just a few plants, which means next year you'll have plenty to plant, and even some to share with friends or trade with other gardeners. Idea number 4. Collecting seeds from wet crops. Wet-seeded crops are a little trickier than dry ones, but once you learn the process, it becomes second nature. These are plants whose seeds develop inside a moist fruit, like tomatoes, cucumbers, squash, pumpkins, and melons. The goal is to remove the seeds, clean them thoroughly, and dry them completely, so they'll store well and stay viable until spring. Start by letting the fruit ripen fully, even beyond the stage you would eat it. For tomatoes, wait until they are slightly soft and very ripe. For cucumbers and squash, allow them to turn yellow, orange, or fully mature on the vine. Overripe fruit means the seeds inside have had time to develop completely, which will result in better germination rates next year. Once your fruits are ready, scoop out the seeds and place them in a jar or bowl with a little water. For tomatoes especially, it's important to let the mixture sit and ferment for 2 to 4 days. This fermentation process breaks down the natural gel coating around the seeds that can prevent germination. You'll know it's ready when you see a thin layer of mold forming on top, or when good seeds have sunk to the bottom, while bad ones float to the surface. After fermentation, rinse the seeds thoroughly in a fine mesh strainer until all pulp and residue are gone. Spread the clean seeds on a plate, paper towel or mesh screen in a single layer to dry. Keep them out of direct sunlight, and stir them occasionally to prevent clumping. When they snap instead of bend, they are ready to store. This extra effort ensures that your wet crop seeds will last for years, and give you healthy, vigorous plants in the next season. Idea number 5. Cleaning and winnowing seeds. Once you've collected your seeds, the next important step is cleaning them. Clean seeds store longer, resist mold, and give you better germination rates when you plant them next year. For dry crops like beans and peas, this step can be as simple as shelling the pods and removing any bits of stems or husks. For tiny seeds from herbs or flowers, rub the seed heads gently between your hands to release the seeds, then pick out any leftover plant material. For larger quantities, you can use a simple winnowing technique. Place the seeds in a bowl and gently blow across the top, or pour them back and forth between two containers. The lightweight chaff will blow away, while the heavier seeds will remain. If you want to take it a step further, you can use a kitchen sieve or a mesh screen to separate small seeds from dust and debris. The goal is to have a collection of seeds that is as pure as possible before storage. Taking the time to clean your seeds well is worth it, because it helps prevent pests or mold from damaging them during the winter. It also saves you time during planting season, since you'll be working with clean, ready-to-go seeds instead of a mix of plant material. Think of this step as setting up your future self for an easier, more organized spring. Idea number 6. Drying seeds properly. Drying is one of the most crucial steps in seed saving, because any leftover moisture can cause mold, rot, or early sprouting. Once your seeds are cleaned, spread them out in a single layer on a paper towel, plate, mesh screen, or piece of parchment paper. Avoid plastic or non-breathable surfaces, because they can trap moisture and slow the drying process. Place your seeds in a warm, well-ventilated spot out of direct sunlight. Too much heat or light can damage the embryo inside the seed and reduce its viability. A spare room, pantry, or even the top of your refrigerator can work well as long as it's not damp. Stir or shake the seeds gently every day to ensure even drying and to prevent clumping, especially for smaller seeds like tomatoes or basil. The drying process usually takes about 1 to 2 weeks depending on the type of seed and the humidity in your home. You'll know they're ready when the seeds snap cleanly, when bent or break with a crisp sound when pressed. If they bend or feel soft, they need more time. Patience here is key. Rushing this step can ruin an entire batch. Taking the time to dry your seeds properly ensures that they'll last through winter and beyond. Well-dried seeds can stay viable for years depending on the plant. Think of this step as locking in the potential for next season's harvest, giving you a strong, reliable start when it's time to plant again. Idea number 7. Labeling and organizing your seeds. One of the most common mistakes gardeners make is forgetting to label their seeds right away. It's easy to think you'll remember which seeds are which, but by spring, all those little brown envelopes or jars can look exactly the same. As soon as your seeds are dry, take a moment to label them clearly with the plant name, variety, and the date you harvested them. If you're saving seeds from multiple plants, you can even jot down notes like best flavor or early producer to help you remember why you saved them. Once labeled, store your seeds in small paper envelopes, seed packets, or even repurposed junk mail envelopes. Then place those packets inside a larger airtight container, like a mason jar, tin, or storage box. This helps keep them together and adds an extra layer of protection against moisture and pests. Some gardeners like to organize by plant family, tomatoes with peppers, beans with peas, while others sort by planting season, so everything is ready to go when it's time to sow. Good organization now saves you time later. When spring arrives, you won't have to dig through piles of unlabeled seeds wondering what's what. Instead, you'll have a neat, organized seed collection that makes planning and planting your next garden simple and stress-free. Idea number 8. Storing seeds for maximum shelf life. Once your seeds are labeled and organized, the next step is finding the perfect place to store them. The 3 biggest threats to seed viability are heat, moisture, and light. To keep seeds alive and ready for planting, you want a cool, dark, and dry environment. A closet, pantry, or drawer that stays at a steady temperature works well for most home gardeners. For an extra layer of protection, store your labeled seed packets in airtight containers like mason jars, tins, or vacuum-sealed bags. You can even add a silica gel packet or a small amount of powdered milk wrapped in tissue to absorb any leftover moisture. Keeping air and humidity away from your seeds dramatically increases their shelf life. Some gardeners like to refrigerate or even freeze their seeds to extend viability for several years. This works best for very dry seeds, sealed in airtight containers. If you do refrigerate or freeze them, let the container warm to room temperature before opening to avoid condensation forming on the seeds. Moisture at this stage can ruin them. By storing your seeds properly, you're protecting months of hard work and ensuring a reliable start to next year's garden. Well-stored seeds can remain viable for 2, 3, or even 5 years depending on the variety, meaning one good seed-saving season can set you up for many harvests to come. Idea number 9. Testing seed viability before planting. Before planting season arrives, it's a good idea to check whether your saved seeds are still alive and ready to grow. A simple germination test can save you time and frustration by showing you which seeds are worth planting and which ones might need to be replaced. To do this, take about 10 seeds from your batch, place them on a damp paper towel, fold it over, and slip it inside a resealable bag or container. Keep it in a warm spot, like the top of your refrigerator, and check after a few days. Most seeds will sprout within 5 to 10 days. If 8 out of 10 seeds germinate, you have an 80% germination rate, which is excellent. If fewer than half sprout, you may want to sow more heavily to make up for the lower success rate, or consider starting fresh with new seeds. This quick test gives you confidence that your efforts to save and store seeds have paid off. Doing this test each year also helps you track which seeds remain viable over time. Some seeds, like beans and lettuce, last for years, while others, like onions and parsnips, lose viability quickly. Knowing this helps you plan better and ensures you never face a disappointing planting season with poor germination. Idea number 10. Saving seeds from biennial plants. Some of the most rewarding seeds to save come from biennial plants, but they require a little more patience. Biennials are plants that take 2 growing seasons to complete their life cycle. In the first year, they grow leaves, roots, or bulbs. Think carrots, beets, onions, cabbage, and parsley. In the second year, they send up flower stalks and produce seeds. If you want to save seeds from these crops, you'll need to help them survive winter and finish their cycle the following season. The simplest way is to leave them in the ground if your winters are mild enough. Mulch heavily with straw, leaves, or compost to protect them from freezing temperatures. In colder regions, you can dig them up, trim back the tops, and store them in a cool, humid space like a root cellar or a box of damp sand. In spring, replant them so they can bolt, flower, and set seed. Once the plants send up tall flower stalks, let the seed heads develop and dry naturally on the plant as much as possible. When they turn brown and start to shatter, collect them carefully and place them in paper bags to finish drying. These seeds can be large, like beet and chard seeds, or very tiny, like carrot seeds, so handle them gently and take your time cleaning them. Saving seeds from biennials connects you to a slower, more traditional rhythm of gardening. It may take longer, but the payoff is huge. You'll have a steady supply of seeds from crops that are often expensive to buy. Plus, these plants adapt more and more to your garden each year, giving you tastier carrots, stronger onions, and more productive cabbage over time. We've just covered everything you need to know to start saving your own seeds, from choosing the right plants and harvesting at the perfect time, to cleaning, drying, labeling, storing, testing for viability, and even saving seeds from biennial crops. These 10 steps can transform the way you garden, giving you more control, saving you money, and helping you grow plants that are better adapted to your soil and climate year after year. Seed saving is more than a gardening chore, it's a tradition. Each seed you save carries a story from this season's garden, a memory of your effort, and a promise of what's to come. When you plant those seeds next spring, you'll be continuing the cycle and creating a garden that grows stronger with every generation. If you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to Golden Hours Garden so you never miss a tip that can make your gardening life easier and more rewarding. Share this video with a fellow gardener who would love to start saving seeds too. Thank you for spending time with me today. I hope this inspires you to take your seed saving seriously this fall and set yourself up for an even better harvest next year. Until next time, happy gardening and happy seed saving.